50%, dating 50% of the presidents of using insurrection because they don't want to go through this stuff where somebody said there's no crime and 4,000 people got shot.
Unfortunately, the abuses of ICE and of CBP continue. And we're going to do everything that we can, again, to protect our residents, but also to get the courts to step in and stop them from abusing just everyday people, that they are firing gas pellets and rubber bullets.
Some of the back and forth over the past few days here about public safety in and around Chicago when it comes to immigration enforcement. Good morning, Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. On this October 15th, it is Wednesday, and you heard President Donald Trump there talk about how he doesn't want to have to use the Insurrection Act. Sounds like he wants some cooperation with local authorities when it comes to public safety issues, and talking about how Chicago's got a problem with the total number of homicides that happen in that city every year. And you got the guard being deployed, but then being blocked by the courts. So that case is still pending, and how that plays out, we'll be watching. But clearly a lot of stuff going on here, especially as the Department of Homeland Security has put this out yesterday. Bounties originating from Mexico offered to shoot ICE and CBP officers in Chicago. So let's go through this a bit, because this is just out from the Department of Homeland Security. They say DHS has obtained credible intelligence indicating that Mexican cartels and criminals, in coordination with domestic extremist groups, have placed targeted bounties on U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and U.S. Customs and Border Protection personnel. These criminals networks have issued explicit instructions to U.S.-based sympathetics, including street gangs in Chicago, to monitor, harass, and assassinate federal agents. Specific details from ongoing investigations include spotter networks in neighborhoods like Chicago's Pilsen and Little Village. Gang members affiliated with groups such as Latin Kings have deployed spotters on rooftops equipped with firearms and radio communications. These individuals track ICE and CBP movements in real time, relaying coordinates. The surveillance has enabled ambushes and disruptions. Still getting my coffee this morning, everybody. Good morning. Routine enforcement actions, including recent raids under Operation Midway Blitz. So the bounties range from $2,000 for gathering intelligence, $5,000 to $10,000 for kidnapping, and up to $50,000 for assassinating high-ranking officials. Clearly, this coming from DHS. They say that Chicago and Portland Antifa groups have provided logistical support, such as pre-staged protest supplies, doxing of agents' identities, and on-the-ground interference to shield cartel-linked individuals from deportation. Goes on from there with a statement from Kristi Noem, and then it says DHS will not be deterred by these threats and calls on sanctuary state and local leaders to cease policies that embolden criminals. The public is urged to report suspicious activities such as rooftop surveillance or organized protest blocking federal operations to their hotline. So this is, again, what DHS says they're having to contend with as you've got the ongoing back and forth continuing. Yesterday, you had the governor post this on X. He said, "I'm not afraid. Come and get me, Donald. I will stand up for the law and the Constitution. That's what we do in the state of Illinois." Then you have the Department of Homeland Security sharing a message that Pritzker had recently on a TV station in Chicago, saying Governor J.B. Pritzker threatening to prosecute law enforcement for enforcing the law and arresting murderers, pedophiles, rapists, and drug traffickers and gang members is disgusting, DHS said on X. It's no wonder Chicago's murder rate's 330% higher than the national average under J.B. Pritzker. His conduct's directly contributing to domestic terrorist attacking brave law enforcement. He's going to get someone killed with this trash. Again, official words there from DHS. Here's what the governor had to say on a local Fox affiliate in Chicago.
The tables will turn someday. These people should recognize that maybe they're not going to get prosecuted today, although we're looking at doing that, but they may get prosecuted after the Trump administration for the things that they did because the statute of limitations won't have run.
So you've got the governor talking about the statute of limitations, holding people accountable. Then you have, again, the DHS highlighting the criminal network, they say, is looking to have bounties on the heads of federal officials. You've got the Department of Homeland Security Assistant Director talking to Fox News about foreign criminal networks that we spelled out there in that news release. And here's some of what she had to say.
It's incredibly disturbing, Sandra. Homeland Security investigations, the FBI, our interagency intelligence partners are really all over this. What we're seeing, as you mentioned, is this tiered system, this coordinated and highly organized waging of war against our law enforcement and a terror campaign against them. We're seeing that they're offering $2,000 for intelligence about our ICE law enforcement agents surrounding, including their family, to dox them, $5,000 to kidnap an ICE law enforcement agent, and then even more money to kill them. And we've talked a lot about on this program and on other programs on this network about these ICE apps to locate ICE and CBP agents. And it's not just obstruction of justice that we've been seeing with that. We're also seeing this. They're now handing intelligence over to these cartels, these criminal rings, to go after our law enforcement, harass them, dox them, kidnap them, and God forbid, kill them, Sandra. It's very disturbing.
So you've got the ongoing concerns for the safety of federal officials. And the president has said that he wants to get the National Guard involved to help with public safety because these sanctuary states aren't cooperating with local law enforcement and causing public safety to be harmed. But later in the day, you have Governor J.B. Pritzker sharing this on X. Greg Bavino, Kristi Noem, and DHS need to answer for their unchecked attacks on Chicago residents. ICE is out of control danger of our peaceful communities. The images of the Sun-Times speak for themselves, and you can see some of the images that he shared from the Sun-Times. And there was video yesterday of agents deploying some kind of chemical agents on the streets to break up a gathering group. And the governor pointing that out as well, saying ICE is recklessly throwing tear gas into our neighborhoods and busy streets, including near children in schools and CPD officers. The Trump administration must stop their deployments of dangerous chemical weapons into the air of peaceful American communities. If you go back to yesterday, we were talking about Broadview and how in Broadview you've got the fence around the facility that was part of a court case, and apparently the fence is coming down at some point, but or is coming down in the process of, but that was put up to protect the perimeter of the federal agency's facility. And you got clashes with protesters, and Broadview having to put in the limitations of time for protests last week. And then this week, after 15 people were arrested over the weekend of clashing with law enforcement, and wasn't necessarily federal law enforcement. You had Illinois State Police and local police there as well, making sure people weren't in the roadway. You had Broadview say that the protesters caused chaos, and they needed to put in more restrictions. So that's what happened earlier this week. And here we are Wednesday with the governor having previously said, peacefully protest. But you got people not peacefully protesting getting arrested. And now you've got people approaching federal officials when they're conducting official federal law enforcement on immigration. And you can see how this boiling cauldron could spill over, and appears to be spilling over in some circumstances here. But final thing here, let's see. We've got, of course, the ongoing questions about the National Guard and how that's going to be used. But you have Governor J.B. Pritzker and Donald Trump obviously going back and forth. The president on Air Force One on his way back from that Middle East Peace Summit. He took questions from members of the media, and one in particular was about the use of the National Guard, about Illinois, and Governor Pritzker yesterday seeming to react to the increased chaotic protests, and what he says was ICE being an overreach and abusive and damaging to the safety of the communities in Illinois, according to the governor.
I think he should beg for help, because he's running a bad operation. He's letting people be killed in his city because he doesn't want in Chicago. And I love Chicago. Chicago can be a great city again, and very quickly. I would have Chicago cleaned out, the criminals removed, we would remove them.
Well, peaceful protest I encourage. I think that's a good idea, and it sends a message to people all across the country, all across the state of Illinois, and most especially to the federal government, that we don't want troops on the ground, and we don't want ICE officials or CBP abusing people on the streets of Chicago or any of our suburbs, or frankly anywhere in Illinois or the country. So we're going to have, I think, a major protest on Saturday called the No Kings Rally. I think we'll see a whole lot of people on the streets for that. Peaceful protest is a good thing. It's something we protect in the Constitution, and I protect people.
But when you mention insurrection, I mean, you were the one that mentioned, one of you mentioned insurrection. I could do that, and many presidents have.
Do you have an update on
50%, Katie, 50% of the presidents have used the insurrection because they don't want to go through this stuff where somebody said there's no crime and 4,000 people got shot.
Unfortunately.
So, is the president finding some justification for using the Insurrection Act when DHS is putting out statements saying that they've got intelligence, the cartels are putting bounties on federal agents' heads in Chicago? How is this going to continue? We'll be watching it closely. The governor does have another event today, later on this morning, and of course, plenty of stuff going on at the Illinois State House as well. It's right here with Illinois in Focus Daily. Go to thecentersquare.com, get the newsletter, and wake up with us each and every weekday morning, live with Illinois in Focus Daily.